Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. Today we're going to talk about how to add HTV to a zip up hoodie or pullover. So I'm going to add it to the one I'm wearing, which is an adult size, and I'm also going to show you how to add it to kid sizes. The process is the same, so no matter what size of hoodie you're working with, the process is going to be exactly the same. Now, this video is sponsored by BELLA+CANVAS. However, all projects and opinions are my own, and I'm going to use a couple of their fleece products. So the hoodies with a zipper, they have a couple of different types and weights. One I'm using that is a kid size. If you don't know they have kid sizes, it is a thicker material than the adult version that I made that I'm wearing. So this is a thinner, more lightweight version. You can get thicker versions as well. So whatever size or thickness you're looking for, BELLA+CANVAS is the place to get it. So I will link below to where to purchase these hoodies. So it is in the description below this video. Plus I have 2 free SVG files linked for you as well. So one says Chaos Coordinator. That can be for yourself or for a mom you know. Or you can do the RAR with little dinosaurs for a hoodie for a toddler, preschooler, infant, that type of thing. So let's take a look first of all at the supplies we're going to use, and then the process we're going to use to make the HTV look good on the hoodie, even though you have the zipper running down the center. So you'll need your BELLA+CANVAS hoodies, and I have a kid's version and an adult, different types of zip up hoodies. And then the HTV, as well as a Cricut machine to cut it, and something to heat press it into position. First thing you're going to want to do is measure the zipper of your hoodies. To do that, very simple, I would literally just use a ruler to measure it. Now both of these are right at 1/2 inch. You will need this measurement before you jump into Cricut Design Space. You might want to measure it in a couple different places. Make sure it's 1/2 inch. Now if there is a cover over your zipper, some brands have a cover where they cover up the zipper. I would just put a very thin rectangle in Cricut Design Space, whereas we're going to put a 1/2 inch wide rectangle over our design and slice the design out. I would go ahead and slice the design in Design Space because it will make it easier to line up. There are other methods where you go ahead and apply it and then cut it exactly where this zipper is. I like the method of trimming it out in Design Space better. It just works better in my opinion. So let's head to Design Space and see how to remove the area for this zipper, and then we'll apply HTV to both of these hoodies. So here are a couple files we're going to experiment with. So you would size it to the size of whatever kind of hoodie you're going to put this on. So I'm just going to roughly size these. And then we want to add that gap that's in the zipper. So let's say that the gap that we measure for our zipper is 1/2 inch. We want to add a rectangle. We're going to unlock the dimensions and we're going to make it 1/2 inch wide and however long we need it. So we'll just make it 6 inches long for illustration. And I actually like to make this white so I can kind of see it. So I'm going to pick this first design as well as the square. Now, if this is multiple pieces, you don't want to group those together. So this is 2 different pieces, but it is grouped. So I can pick both of those, align, and center horizontally. This is what it will look like if the zipper is running down the center of my design. Cutting the center of that A may not be something that you want to do. So now we have a couple of different choices. We can kind of modify this design. We can put it off center on the hoodie. So you kind of have to decide at this point what would be best. Let me give you another example with this bottom design. So I made us another line. We can pick both, align, center horizontally. This one looks pretty good with that W cut out. The A and Chaos Coordinator, I'm not crazy about. So what I'm going to do is ungroup this design, and I'm going to pick just the Chaos. What could we do to this to make this not look as bad? We can make it slightly off center just with the Chaos portion. We can make both of them off center from the zipper. So to do that, we could pick both, and if it was just slightly off center, it would look way better. So you do need to kind of play with your design, play with the gap in the zipper, and decide which way would look best. You might even play with the size. So if I made this slightly larger, it would be slightly off center, but that kind of looks better, right? So play with the design, play with the size, play with the location of your zipper until you get a look you want. So let's say this bottom one, it's exactly how I want it. I'm going to pick both of these and I'm going to slice it out. Now you can only slice 2 layers. So if on this chaos coordinator I decide this is the way I want it, I will have to weld or join these layers somehow. So I would probably do combine and unite. Then I would be able to slice these 2 out. Then you just need this slice result here. These other ones you can delete. And now you have a place for your zipper. So again, you would choose both pieces, click slice, then pull just that sliced version away, delete everything else. Now we have 2 designs that have a zipper cut out of them that will still look okay on the hoodie. So you do have to take into account where the zipper is going to go and the design when you are putting HTV on a zip up hoodie. So now I can go ahead and click make it and cut my HTV. I have my Easy Press heating up. We're going to go ahead and add the Easy Press mat inside of the hoodie. Now I would recommend putting something inside the hoodie just to kind of raise up the inside, regardless of what heat press you're using. So a pressing pillow would work as well. Then we want to preheat this area before we add the HTV. So I'm just going to go over the top. And these hoodies that I'm using, you can press the zipper. So it is a metal zipper. If you're using some other brand of hoodie, be cautious and make sure you don't melt the zipper. So now we're going to add the HTV. We're just going to get it in location. And we're going to line up the edges of our design on the edges of the zipper itself. Once you get it just like you want it, just going to press it in place. Now, if you do not think the carrier sheet will keep it in place, this carrier sheet is fairly sticky. If you don't think it will keep it in place, you can also use some heat resistant tape to hold it. Now you just want to press according to the time and the temperature for whatever HTV you're using. Now this hoodie has some seams on it. Of course we have the zipper. You do want to press down with some pressure. So I'm going to use about medium pressure, and I have the zipper itself out of the top. So I'm going to press down for the full time. If you're using another heat press, try a medium pressure. Once the time's up, we'll lift that up. And then you want to note if your HTV is hot peel or cold peel. This one is a hot peel or a cold peel, so I'm going to go ahead and peel it back. You do want to be careful, especially around that zipper. So with this, around the zipper might not get the pressure of everything else. So you just want to use caution around the zipper. If it's not fully stuck around the zipper, just kind of see if you can lift it up, because we are going to press a second time. This one looks really good, but it is a little loose in a few areas right around the zipper. So you're just going to take a Teflon sheet, add it over the top. We're going to press a second time. About half the time is fine. So I'm going to press about 8 seconds, again holding down with a medium pressure. And we'll just remove that, peel it off. And this time you just want to look and make sure that it is stuck really well along these edges, and this one is. Now we can remove the Easy Press mat from the inside, and this one's done. Now if you get any press marks around here, I take an Easy Press Mini and kind of move it in a circle around the edges. It sometimes happens with some darker colors. So just move your Easy Press Mini around here. I would let it cool completely before you do that, because a lot of times, like this kind of looked like it had a press mark, but as it's cooling, it's sort of fading away. So a lot of times they do, in fact, fade away. So a couple of tips. First, use caution. These zippers are metal. You are heating them up. They are going to be very, very hot. Second tip, if you have issues with your HTV sticking around the zipper, use something like the Easy Press Mini so you can really get in there and push on the HTV, and I think you'll find that it will stick perfectly. I actually didn't have any issues with the method that I used with both of the hoodies that I made. However, it's probably going to depend on the HTV you're using, whether or not you might have some issues with it sticking in, especially in that center area. So that is one tip if you're having issues. Just break out something like the Easy Press Mini, a handheld iron, so you can get right into that groove in the center and you really get it pushed down. Basically the seam in the center might hold the HTV off of the fabric. So you just want to get it pushed down into that to get a good adhesion and bond. Otherwise, now you know how to put HTV on any hoodie that you might want to customize. So pick up BELLA+CANVAS hoodies for the entire family, whether you like the lightweight version that I'm wearing or a thicker weight version like this one I made, either way, or both for all of your fall activities and sports, that type of thing. And then customize the front with a variety of HTV designs. Now both of the ones that I did today were a single layer. You can definitely layer HTV on hoodies as well. Just use the exact same method and be sure to slice your layers in the exact same location so they layer up perfectly. Otherwise, follow the same instructions that you would use for layering HTV for any project and just modify for the modifications we made in this video for the zipper to add HTV to a zip-up hoodie or pullover. So now, if you have any questions about anything we covered, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you like this video, if it helped you, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank y'all so much for joining me. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.